What's going on, YouTubers, gamers, and hobbyists? Welcome to another episode of On the Bench with Pete, the series you put on in the background as you hobby or paint along with me. Put it on in the background, I talk about some stuff, and together we get a hobby done. And it's brilliant because, you start off with a blank canvas, so to speak, or an unpainted miniature, and you can end up with a either a completely painted one or another stage done of your army, whatever you need really. So get tea, coffee, whatever else you need, and set yourself up with your models and your paints and everything else. And I'm pretty excited. I'm cracking on with another episode on the same day because I want to further my preparations for Middle Earth, the role-playing game. I'm super excited. So once I'm done out here in the studio, I'm going back to research rules and things. I've also got a bit of editing to do. I'll talk about that as we get to the bench. Anyway, yeah, let's just get to the bench. And here we are on the bench. I am super duper duper excited because I'm cracking on with stuff. I'm just putting my phone onto silent, move that out of the way. Got my old naked palette thing here. This was just the bottom of some packaging that came with a kettle. The kettle we bought, our replacement kettle, and that was in the bottom. I thought, ooh, I can use that as a palette. So that's what I've been doing. Saruman is on the bench. Beon doesn't need much work doing really. Bottom of his base perhaps. A couple of other highlights. I'm pretty okay with how he looks. He's not complete, but hey ho. He might have to come off of that. This elven ranger needs a bit of work. Arrows and washes and then highlights. Yeah. Pygmy King on boar. Yeah. Still there, still here. But Congo is a long way off at the moment. And the model I could not find anywhere. Let's zoom in slightly. I found him. Pippin. He's going to be a much more suitable model for the solo RPG because he's a hobbit. He's quite generic. He's got a sword, so he can be an adventurer type. It's going to be perfect. Whereas the Samwise Gamgee model was so obviously Samwise Gamgee with his pots and pans and things that it just didn't feel right to me. But yeah, super excited. I've already primed him, as you can see, in grey. Primed him in, it's just grey. Surface primer by Vallejo. And I've done a Gilliman Flesh contrast on his skin, because I do like the flesh effects that the contrast paints provide. So I'll be looking to do some work on him. Radagast the Brown. Yeah, I'm thinking his boots need doing. His boots definitely need doing. And I'm thinking of a Corax Black for that. If I can find it. Sorry, not Corax. Corvus Black. What am I talking about, Pete? Pete, what are you on about? Come on now. Corvus Black. 'Cause it's an off black. It's a black grey, isn't it? Black grey or grey black, whichever way you look at it, it's an off black. Oh, the sun is shining. Last episode, it was absolutely hammering down, and that was only like an hour ago. How quickly the weather changes. Right. Need some paper towel, because, this is really much needed for me. Spoke about my mum in the last couple of videos, how she took a tumble, broke her shoulder and arm, really bad break. She's in hospital in Exeter. I've seen her I saw her on Sunday. I shall probably go up next week to see her again. And see how she's getting on. So that'll be 2 weeks then. Because with broken bones and that, it's usually around about 6 weeks, isn't it? That it takes to heal. I'd say it'd be more like 6 to 8 weeks with someone of my mum's age. But it's the boredom, isn't it, in hospital. Yeah. So yesterday, one of my aunties went to see her, and I believe she's got visitors for today through to Saturday. I believe. I hope so. So, Corvus Black. That's good. So that takes care of that. I can't visit Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday because I'm working. That's just the thing. And I really, really, really needed the rest after the last sort of 4 days of stint I did. God, my goodness, it was grueling for me. Not unpleasant, but my goodness, so tiring. Just putting some Nuln Oil on a dagger thing he's got going on here. Got far too many paints out on the bench. I know this. So what I can do is I can start putting some of them away. I don't like to have too much out at once. It clutters things, I find. It clutters things. Stops me thinking so much. I found the colour I was looking for last session for my elf, but that's another story. Anyway, I'll say now while I remember, let me know what you're working on, guys, because I love reading about that, as always. What have we got here? Oh, it's just some messages coming through on my phone. That's alright. I'll answer them sometime. We're busy right now. We're doing a session. We are hobbying. I'm thinking the Corvus Black I could probably do for this sort of headdress thing. This Pygmy King has got going on here. Right. So I don't know what we're going to be watching tonight. It's me and my wife, you see, we watch DVD box sets we enjoy that we've got. Used to be my wife, my daughter and myself, but of course my daughter's now, fallen in love, etc. So spends every waking moment talking to her boyfriend, which is, normal. So it's just my wife and I now, really, for watching stuff. Unfortunately, we do like similar things, which is good news, because it makes life a lot easier when it comes to what shall we watch sort of thing. In fact, the only difficulty is deciding, because we like so many similar things. It's like, well, shall we watch a bit of Star Trek? Shall we watch, Ashes to Ashes? Bit of Iceberg Truckers. What do you want to watch? It's like, and we're both kind of like, we don't mind. It's kind of like, eeny, meeny, miny, mo situation. Right, where Radagast is concerned here, I think we need to put a little bit of shade wash on him. Bit of a Grex Earth shade going on. Lower robes. Yeah, so we're good. We're more in agreement now than when it was my daughter, my wife and I, because very often my daughter would disagree with some of the stuff we're watching. No, I don't want to watch that. No, don't want to watch that. Don't want to watch that. But I'm fairly easygoing, so I don't mind really. And neither does Mrs. Mini Warzone. So it's all good. It's all good. When that dries, we've got to do some work on his the bird of prey yet. Might do the eyes. I'm not sure what colour to do them though. Really not. Maybe a blue, because it'll be so tiny you will hardly notice it. Speaking of blue, I don't know. I'm thinking I'd like my halfling to have something blue to wear. Perhaps blue trousers. Oh, do you know, I've neglected to do his feet. That's a bit of a silly thing to forget, isn't it? Because he's got bare feet, right? I'll have to do that. We'll have to sort that out. Maybe we won't be working on that just yet then. Cloaks. I mean, they traditionally have brown cloaks, don't they? I don't know. I mean, I might like mine to be a bit more colourful. I mean, they do like colourful clothing. It's true. Kind of shows like a merit of standing within your community, I suppose. Because although it was all worked out, one thing that the stories don't touch upon much really is what currency did they use? When it comes to the Shire, which is going to feature in my solo RPG, they used a combination of coins and barter, but the coins themselves were bartered not for their value for exchange, but for the value that the metal held to the owner, or the beholder, as it were. Yeah, so then his feet. Wait for that to dry. Yeah, I am thinking blue, though, for him. That's going to be good. I think I'm going to do a yellow on the top of my Pygmy King's like totem pole thingamajig he's carrying. Avalon Sunset. I particularly like Avalon Sunset. Something about it I really like. Alright, using my character brush again. Been using that a lot in these last couple of videos, or the last video at least. So another thing I want to try and get progressed on today is my Hobbit hole. Show you what I mean in a moment. You know, the one I had all the trouble with the mess. Expanding foam, my goodness. Definitely wear gloves if you're using expanding foam with your terrain to make your terrain. Perfect. Just a bit of colour for him. I call him pretty much done. I'm going to paint the bottom of his base. Right, let's see if I can find my expanding foam hobbit hole so I can show you what I'm talking about. Ooh. I should have left something on the desk there, really, shouldn't I? For you to look at. Well, sorry, I am coming back. Right, it's pretty big. Let's zoom out. There it is. It's a lump of expanding foam, right? Like so. A bit hollow on the underside, but that's okay. Yeah. Now what I'm hoping is to take my hobbit hole entrance and place it, you know, on the front of it. Yeah, you know, just to kind of give it that look of authenticity. So my plan is to stick it to this, smooth this out. Now, I've got a couple of options here with this. I can get a file or a saw, cut bits off. You know, like that's definitely a possibility. I can use some Vallejo textures. Put on it. But it's definitely going to be something I'm going to be making into a hobbit hole. That is my, you know, because the Shire is going to play one of the early scenes, probably not the first scene, but one of the early scenes in the campaign. So yeah, I've got to sort it out. I really do. Also, along with my Pippin character, let me zoom back in again now. See, I've got a Barrow White that I need to do for the Barrow Downs. Well, he's a Barrow Warden Lord, as you can see here, but he's basically a Barrow White, isn't he? So yeah, so he's going to be a thing as well. So he's another character, not character, but an encounter, I suppose. I need more of them if I'm going to encounter Barrow Whites, of course. I don't know yet. Oh, excuse me. I've really got to just work on the miniatures that I'm definitely going to have in my campaign. Now I'm looking for a suitable blue. Because I want him to have blue trousers. I do. Thunderhawk blue is an option for his trousers. It's kind of a grey blue, you know. I think we're going to go with that. Yeah, I think Thunderhawk blue is going to be good. He's got like an undercloak as well here. So it's got like two cloaks going on. That's alright. Let's get these trousers done. So, Thunderhawk blue. Yes, very much a grey blue, which is what I want. Some pots like this are beautiful. They behave just how you want them to, with the lid and everything else. And others can be really old pain in the ass, you know. I like the old school ones, you know, they opened and closed. I've still got some from a long time ago that are just as good now as, you know, the day I first had them. And some of them I got from someone else who had them a long time. So, yes, Thunderhawk blue. The tricky thing with this RPG is that my halfling character, or my hobbit character, he's not a warrior. He's not going to be pretty good. He's obviously going to be based on like a thief rogue type, burglar, as was the case with Bilbo Baggins. Because that's what I mean, let's face it, that's what they're made for. That's what they're built for, really. With or without the One Ring, you know. So originally I was thinking, do I set this campaign just after the events of The Hobbit? Thinking recently, like, I could set it before the events of The Hobbit, which would mean that the One Ring has yet to be discovered by the known world. I mean that Gollum is still the owner of the One Ring. Yeah, so do I do that? I don't know. See, them maybe, perhaps, when the campaign comes to an end, comes to a close, that can be when, you know, Gandalf makes his way into the Shire. Yeah, his trousers done. Or his pants, for my American friends. Thunderhawk blue. Sort of a blue theme thing going on there. I could do his undercloak a light grey. And his outer cloak, or should I do it red? Yeah, they like colours. They do like their colours. See, burnt red is brown, really, to me. No, I think I might do corn red for his inner cloak. He's got not a backpack, but he's got like a side bag thing. Yeah. Do I give him black hair or brown? I kind of like black. I do. Yeah. So if I'm going with corn red, there's another one, Galvorback red. That's kind of a cool colour. Corn red is more red. Yeah. Galvor back red is basically burnt red. But I'm going with corn red prisoner cloak, which is a dark red still, but not as dark. Let's give it a bit of a shake so you can see the table wobbling there as I was knocking the table. Sorry. Oh, giving this a really good shake. So my job really tiring me out, but I love the autonomy of the job I do. You know, I never have to consult anybody on what I'm doing. I just go in. I know exactly what I'm doing. I go in, I do it. I don't even have to report to someone. No one has to say, right, okay, today you're doing this. You know, none of that. It's literally all there. I know the orders are going to be there. Unless the day comes when I go in, there's no orders online. Then they might turn around and say, wow, got no orders today, Pete, so we're going to put you on, I don't know, replenishment or whatever. But, you know, that's not happening here. The orders are there. I go in, I pick up my gadget, my little handheld device, log in, find the order for my trolleys. Away I go and pick the order. It's brilliant. Love it. End of my shift. Well, I'll have a break obviously in the middle, but end of my shift, you know, I just hand it all back. You know, I'm not the only one doing it. I go to the clocking station and I clock out and I go home. I say cheerio or see you tomorrow or whatever, if there's anybody there at the time. But I don't even need to say that sometimes because there's no one else around. Everybody's like, it's like we're all like cogs in a vast machine and we just keep turning. Yeah, cogs in a vast machine, yes. Cogs in a vast machine. I could call this episode that. Cogs in a vast machine. It will help me identify it in the future. Nothing to do with what I'm painting, of course, but yeah. Doesn't have to be. Yeah, so as the cogs, we just keep on turning. And the machine, the vast machine I'm talking about, well, that never stops churning either. You know, it just keeps on going, night and day, 24 hours a day. See, I would have finished anyway by now, but the difference is, because it's my day off, I'm not tired as much as I would have been. And aching as well. Oh, it makes me ache. My feet and legs and back. Hurts your back because there's a lot of bending down and stuff. But you know, overall I really enjoy it. I love a job I don't need to seek instruction. It's kind of almost like your own boss, you know, really. You're in charge of what you do. You know, don't, you know, do anything other than what you're supposed to be doing. Otherwise, time will catch up with you, and you know they'll come wondering where's my order. You know, the drivers and that. But just do what you're meant to do, and nobody gets on your back. Oh, I've just seen that I've gone over his trousers. Darn it! Gonna have to. It's tidying that up. The inner cloak's in an awkward place. There's no getting away from that. There. Haha. Whoa. 33 minutes. Wow. I recorded the intro of this video on my phone, by the way, because ease of use, and it was right there. Okay, so there's on camera. There it is. Good pose, good pose, very good pose. Right, I think Radagast is probably ready to flop the king. Yeah, I think so. But I want some more highlights on him. See, that's the thing. Well, let's have a look. I've got Rackar Flesh. Good. Cool. That's got to be dried up. Is there even anything in it? Put some thinners in. There. I'll put some retarder in too. Do I have another Rackar Flesh? I've got a Carrick Stone. Similar to Rackar Flesh, a little bit more browny, I suppose. I wonder if I use Shabty Bone. Got Jack Bone by P3, that might do. There you go, use Shabty Bone. Because that might be too light. We'll go Jack Bone, I think. So thanks for softening up the paint. But we'll go for it anyway. We'll go for a different one. Jack Bone. P3, folks. Oh yes. Back to my palette. There we are. That's that. Jack Bone. Now, yes, I think this will be a good highlight. Have to switch brushes, I think, here. Character brush. Character building. Radagast the Brown is one of the 5 wizards. So yeah, he's got a feature in this because everyone expects you to do Gandalf, right? Yeah, Radagast the Brown, he had more of an affinity with nature, so his concerns, and although the Astari all had, like, you know, similar purposes, his priorities kind of changed, I think. He saw how wonderful nature was. And the animals and beasts that lived among it and in harmony with it. very much. That's good. Happy with that. So I think Screaming Skull will be the next highlight we go to, which I'm also going to put on the skull of the Pygmy King on the boar. That reminds me, I need to get hold of some Warg riders sometime, or Wargs, which are like wild. Not, I mean, they're all wild, but extra wild wolves. Like dire wolves, I suppose. It's like calling them Game of Thrones, isn't it? Dire wolves. Right. Oh, it's really bright out there now. That's good. That is good. Right, so this highlight. There we go. Now for the skull on the Pygmy King. Almost like a Xenital highlighting effect going on here. Almost, he says. Right, yeah. So that's good. That's good. There. Looking good. Looking damn good. See, what I like about the Radagast, the brown colour scheme I've gone for here is we've got browns, right? And like light tans almost going into white. So he's brown. But it also shows you he could reach the pillar of white if, you know, if he needed to. Or if it was needed of him, I should say, to be more accurate. So that was Screaming Skull. I suppose Deepkin Flesh or Pallid Witch Flesh. I think we'll go Pallid Witch Flesh. Yeah, I know. Pallid Witch Flesh. Try to hold it steady. I can hear dogs barking in the background. Definitely not mine though, this time. Sometimes it is mine, and you can always tell the noise of your own dog. Yes. Like that a lot. Now I think it's time for flocking for him. I do. And with that in mind, I'm going to get some glue. PVA, here we come. Oh, there we go. Right. Oh, the smell of PVA glue. Oh, it really takes me. Sorry, I'm not advocating glue sniffing here. It's a wood glue, so it's not that harmful to you like some other glues. I love the smell of it because it takes me back to my primary school days. I used to do like crafting and things like that. Yes, it's safe. It's used in schools. But the smell just it's lovely. It takes me right back. One scent of that smell takes me back to like, you know, 45 years in the past. The wonderful sensation. Alright, so the flock is like a traditional green because he's mostly going to be in woodland and wooded areas and grasslands and that kind of thing. And there he is. For 9 minutes. Right. And I think I'm going to leave it there because glass is off. Done some good work. Doesn't seem like much, but my goodness, the time really gets away from you, doesn't it? It's but yeah, here they are though. You know, the three. So there it is. Radagast the Brown, as yet unnamed Hobbit, or is actually the Pippin figure, but you know. And the Boar King, the Boar King. I keep saying that. Pygmy King on a boar. Yes, get it right, Pete. Pygmy King on a boar. So yeah. So thank you very much for joining me on this episode of On the Bench with Pete. There we are. Let me know what you're working on. As always, I love reading about that stuff. And yeah, hopefully see you in the next video. Perhaps if you're new to the series, new to my channel, whatever, you can go right back to the start, work your way through them. It's what I do with various channels. I think it's got paint-along series. In fact, some I enjoy them so much I've watched them several times over and go back to the beginning again. But there's probably more videos in On the Bench than any other series of playlists I've ever done, and I do not see it ending anytime soon, which is good because I'm always going to be painting and doing projects, which is great, right? So, you know, please join me on this adventure. At the moment, it's true, Lord of the Rings is going to feature heavily for quite some time, I foresee, unless I get I just decide for something different now and again, but I can't see it at the moment. My enthusiasm for Lord of the Rings is burning, you know, white hot at the moment. So yeah, but you know, hit the notification bell, hit the like button, please. That really helps me out big style. If you want to see any paint-alongs without adverts or anything like that, then check out my Patreon account, my Patreon campaign, where for as little as $1 a month you will gain access to exclusive videos, behind the scenes, all sorts of things. There's a painting of a patron series that I do, like I say, no adverts, and you can just head on over there. And you know, I go into other stuff in those videos as well. So yeah, I think that's enough jibber jabber from me. Thanks for watching. Remember, All brushes lead to war, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now, guys. Bye bye.